In the debut episode of Tensou Sentai Goseiger, Gosei Red got his arm injured during a surprise attack. Now, he kept this injury hidden from the other Goseiger, but it finally catches up with him in episode 6. Of course, this comes at a particularly bad time because they're facing a new enemy that is able to run really, really, really fast, like blindingly fast. They can't see it coming, they can't see it going, they can't keep track of it. But after a little bit of special training, in which Gosei Red was actually absent because he was off doing some promise to the kid in the show. I can't remember the kid's name. I don't remember. The Goseiger finally managed to beat the monster, and they destroyed because they were able to predict where the monster was going to be next by listening to the wind. But then the monster is grown to giant size, Gosei Great is summoned, and they're just right back to chasing him all over again. Of course, Gosei Red is still overexerted himself from a battle, not only that very first battle in the very first episode, but for the battle that happened in the current episode. So, unfortunately, Gosei Great is not capable of flying, as Angel Mecha in Super Sentai with dragon wings are wont. So, unfortunately, all that's left is to just have Gosei Great run. Unfortunately, over the course of the chase throughout the surprisingly long city, Gosei Great's legs are damaged. And it is at this point that the three Landick brothers make their presence known. So, first up is the surprisingly loud Quagga Header, which is based off of a stag beetle. Stag beetles have 3 legs on each side, thus this header has 3 wheels on each side. And the pincer claws, the eyes right there. A lot of detail, and I don't know how anatomically correct this is, because I mean, just like with the manta header, there's more than a little bit of the head left over from the stag beetle. So it's difficult as if this is another case of the entire animal being represented or just certain parts of it. At the very least, the very large antlers are being represented, which are spring-loaded. And then you've got some detail under there. And the special feature of the Quagga Header is you slide this little thing here forward, and you open that up. Although you can squeeze down on it easily enough to reset it if you need to. You're not really supposed to, but it is an option. I mean, officially you're supposed to set this back and forth like that. But I suppose for safety reasons, they're like, yeah, let's not make it permanent. So, yes. And also the little, I don't know what it's called in beetles, but the little yellow thing right there slides back and forth. I suppose that would be its mouth, I'm guessing. I don't know. So that's it for the Quagga Header. Next up is the Sai Header. Actually, no, Sai is Japanese for rhinoceros. So this is a rhinoceros and not a mole, as I originally thought it was. Actually, to be fair, it does have details. Like, it has kind of the shape of the skull right in here. It's got the head sculpt, the kind of smallish ears, the secondary horn right there. The eyes are actually one of my favorite details. They actually get that just about right. So if you look at it long enough, yeah, if you look at it from the right angles, it actually does look like a rhinoceros. So just trust me, it does. I thought it was a mole, because I mean, how many mogirus have there been floating around in Japanese tokusatsu and whatnot for decades now? So that's what I thought with a drill nose and stuff like. No, it's actually a rhinoceros. All right, fair enough. Non-functional tractor treads there, but there's a little wheel in the center. Non-functional tractor treads. By the way, these tractor treads, very nice compared to Gosei Tiger's tractor treads. There's a very similar vein right here. I get a feeling these two get along with each other pretty darn well, that they're sharing fashion tips with each other. And that's it. And a special feature, in case you haven't noticed, is this. Which, unfortunately, mine has a tendency to lock up. Listen. It's not supposed to lock up, and it actually works a little better if you slide it forwards. I don't know why, but just sliding backwards, it clicks a little bit, it locks up, but sliding forward in the direction that your drill doesn't want to be going, by the way. You actually want it to be going back like this, but for whatever reason, it's actually harder to work it when you go backwards. But anyways, that's it for the Sai Header. Well, we've already had a Phoenix Header, and we've already had a Dragon Header, but those are mythological animals. How's about we bring some extinct animals into the foreground here, such as the Tyranno Header, which is, need I say it, based off of a Tyrannosaurus Rex. And yeah, it pretty much is. There's no doubt what this critter is. Although, I do have to question, did Tyrannosaurus Rex have these bony little plates on the top here? I don't know. Maybe it's a second Super Sentai homage to Godzilla. What would they have called it? The Babyzilla Header, I suppose? Is that what they would have called it? I don't know. And the mouth can open to reveal some stuff. There's some stuff in there. There's a little. I don't know. When I initially got this, I thought it was supposed to be an actual functional missile launcher, but it turns out not so much. It's just a thing. So unfortunately, I was a little disappointed there. Speaking of disappointed, not to get too far in the commentary already, the front wheel can turn, but the back wheels do not, because there's a small wheel back here. I'll say it right now, that was one of the most bizarre decisions I've ever seen Plex and Bandai make for a Super Sentai toy that represents an animal. So, more on that later. And for the special feature, you just push down on this back one here and it lifts up. It's held down by gravity only, so I mean, see, there isn't even a spring in there. And if you push on this, well, it doesn't do anything. So you can either manually lift it up or you can push on that. And that's it for the Tyranno Header. Grah. Unfortunately, at this point, I don't have the electronic tensoder, so I can't play the sound effects that you would hear on the Landick Brother Gosei card. But just know it actually does make a noise. However, I do still have the Gosei Blaster, and it very much makes this sound when you plug in a Landick header. And because all three of the Landick brothers are part of the Landick tribe, they all make the Landick tribe sound, which you just heard there. They also all make the same sound when you squeeze the trigger. But unfortunately, just like the Siak brothers and the basic headers, they don't make any additional sounds if you hold down the trigger. Waiting, let go? Nope, no different sound. That's it. However, they do make the sound when you remove them. One of the things that I found slightly irritating about the Siak Brothers set, which I previously reviewed, is that they tipped over really, really easily. That is very much not the case with the Landick Brothers, I promise you that. The tractor treads are really wide, the wheels are really wide, although this guy's got a tricycle, and again, why does this not turn? It's so frustrating. It's annoying. And I mean, you would think that if they were going to have wheels not move, it would be the front ones, put a single wheel underneath there, and then have, you know, these turn. Okay, I'm still irritated about that. Anyways, all three of them, very stable side to side, and none of them are front or back heavy either, which is quite refreshing. And so that is it for the Landick Brothers by themselves. The preparations for Gosei Great and preparations for this combined form are pretty much the same. The only difference is this time we are not removing the hands, but rather we are removing the feet and moving them up here. So we're going to take the yellow header, we're going to attach it to the yellow leg. I wish that was the case. You actually take the yellow header, attach it to the black leg. You take the Tyranno header, attach it to the yellow leg. And then you place the Quagga Header up here, Open the antlers, and there you have Landick Gosei Great. Not a whole lot I can say about Landick Gosei Great other than the heads are in the same position, but we're just, instead of swapping the arms, you swap the legs so that it can have a significant increase in running power. Although, no, not necessarily running, because he actually does this kind of speedy running thing, where or kind of roller skates, inline roller skates thing, which is, it looks weird on screen, but it looks better than what I'm doing here. It's just kind of shuffling side to side. So yeah, and again, because the wings are folded backwards, you can get the arms to flip all the way around. Ooh, that flipped up a bit. You can actually get the arms all the way back to, what's further than 90? Is that 135 degrees of movement? That's not bad. And, 90 degrees movement right here. No, I'm sorry, that's 180. Is that 270? Ah, this is a terrible take. This is a terrible take, but I'm going to keep it. And that's it for Landick Gosei Great. So here's an interesting little bit. In the exact same episode, not even within 2 minutes of each other, we see both the arrival of another Siik Gosei Great and, killing time, the arrival of what comes to be known as another Landick Gosei Great. Out of the way. And I must say, because the headers are a lot longer for the additional accessory sets or whatever it is, the arms end up looking, because here's the elbow right here, so these arms end up looking way, way longer than they should. And should I even comment about how long the chest is? You know what, Ava, save your complaints for the conclusion or whatever it is. But anyways, yes. Another Landick Gosei Great. Aside from the fact that they're headers, which I'm still trying to wrap my head around that one, I mean, how this stupid gimmick is actually working. I mean, not physically, but just like how Bandai and Plex expect us to accept this stupid gimmick. Aside from that, I've never really had anything against the Landick Brothers set. I think it actually took me watching the episode where they debut and some of the other ones where they return again to, I suppose, get wrapped up in the enthusiasm that they bring to the party. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a weird dynamic because the Siik brothers are supposed to be the powerful ones, like physically strongest and the most energy in their attacks and blah, 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 and stuff like that. So that's what their job is supposed to be. But the Landick brothers, I feel, they bring it better just with their outright enthusiasm and attitudes. They're all beefy creatures in their times and places and locations, regardless of their sizes or what Cretaceous period they came from or whether they're being hunted for their bones or not. I just like the enthusiasm of these guys. Just a giant Tyrannosaurus. I kind of like this one the most. Or at least I would like to like this one the most. The fact that this is a gravity-driven switch, that does not bother me. The fact that it doesn't have a firing missile in it, I can get used to it, whatever. But it's this thing. It's so lazy that it just lets the whole thing down. It really does. Like, you could do it with the small one. Why did you do it with the bigger one? Or why didn't you do it with the bigger one, and then if you had to have one of these stupid little singular wheels, put it under the center of these two? So I'm really, really disappointed. And the problem is they're not even entire wheels in the back here. So even if I could take the thing apart, they're not actual wheels. They're molded in as part of it. So I'm just stuck with what I've got. So, like, I wish this was my favorite, but unfortunately it's not. I still like his attitude, and I like his little growl. I know it's out of focus here. It's fuzzy. That's what I get for working with a potato all these years. But I do like the little the growling expression on his face. He actually does have it in the eyes. It's pretty darn funny in person. So I like pretty much everything about this except for the wheels. Oh, you can see there's a big old screw hole right there. That's why the thing can't turn. So Yeah, whatever. And again, with the Sai Header, I like the attitude on this one, like the kind of frowning, growling expression he's got. Am I upset it doesn't have a mouth? Well, the thing about it is the way these tractor treads are set up, it looks like it has the kind of big upper lip. What's it called on a rhinoceros? The whole bony head thingy, theme or whatever it is actually carried over. If you look at it just the right angle from the side, you can actually see the mouth of the Sai Header is actually the tractor treads. If only those tractor treads could bend down. It's unfortunate, but whatever. But again, just like with Gosei Tiger, the tractor tread or the tractor detailing is really nice. I do enjoy that. That's really good. Kind of the awkward thing about its gimmick, though, is, and this very much is a callback to the, what's it called, the GoGo Drill, is with GoGo Drill, when you rolled the thing, there was a little wheel on the bottom located right there that would allow the drill head to turn. Actually, there's like planetary drill heads right there. So there's actually 3 drill heads tied into the much larger one there, which is awesome. This was made in 2006. This was made in 2010. Yeah, it's slightly smaller, but here's the funny thing, though. There's still a wheel in the center. The problem is the wheel is on the top rather than the bottom. So, and you're manually turning this. They've done it before. What made them think, was it because they couldn't get the tractor treads to mold in properly or something like that? I don't like it. And also the problem I've got is, believe it or not, well, I suppose kids won't have this problem, but I certainly do. My fingers are fat enough as an adult, 6'2" and 2.7 bills, that my fingers actually rub up against the ears right here, because the gear is located right in the middle there. And I also don't like it when the thing locks up, which I demonstrated to you earlier. So that's also a thing, is your finger is rubbing up to either side of the ears. And this little thing gets in the way too. So you have to do it in these quick little, you can't even run your whole finger across it like that. It doesn't work. Because this is in the way, and then the ears get in the way. So if they'd had this gear or a rubber wheel of some kind on the bottom, that would have taken care of the problem, and this would have been my favorite of the Landick headers. And by the way, with GoGo Drill, I almost said Gosei Drill, which is wrong. With GoGo Drill, you can actually tilt these down and up, and when it's combined, see this thing sitting in the back here? It allowed you, not much room, it allowed you to turn this thing manually when it wasn't touching the ground. When it was actually attached as an arm, you could reach back here and twirl this thing. So yeah, there's a lot, it's a very simple shape, but it does things. Although the one thing it does I never understood is why it is these fold all the way back like this. I don't know why they do that. So yeah, missed opportunity with this guy. Almost my favorite. And then there's the Quagga Header, which, it's okay. I suppose the eye is right next to the horn. Horn's right there, and this is cute, and I don't know, it's pretty offensive. It's not offensive. It's offensive-less. It's not offensive. This is just a cute little rolling thing. So, just kind of, it exists, and this is cute, and it's definitely the head, but kind of like the Manta Header from the Siak brothers, the Quagga Header kind of has that issue of most of the body of the representative animal, most of the representative animal is molded in here as opposed to just the head. Having 3 wheels on either side, whatever, but yeah. So yeah, the Landick brothers, I don't really have any huge issue with them. Well, I need to get all three headers in frame, but it's hard to make it look heroic when you're so far away, and they're literally at the top and bottom of Gosei grid. I don't know. You know what? I'll just say I'll keep it simple and say I like the head design. Is it just me, or are they going for kind of a slightly, and I mean oh so slightly, Egyptian mummy theme? Like the face is wrapped up and it's got a prominent chin and it's got a prominent nose, but the mouth is covered up, and it's slightly difficult for me to believe that it would be an armored face. That's not quite what I mean, because then you've got this large crest sitting up here, and then you've got the insect theme. So, like, I almost want to say that Bandai and Plex were going for kind of an insect theme, kind of an ancient Egypt kind of thing. Now, I say kind of because, well, the other two animals have more or less nothing to do with what I associate with Egyptian, animals. We have no idea where the Tyrannosaurus hung out, and there may be rhinoceroses, but I thought they mostly hung out in Africa. Although, to be fair, Egypt is in Africa, so whatever. But, yeah. So it's a nice stylistic head, just I feel like it's kind of a missed opportunity. So, yeah. Speaking of missed opportunities, you remember that rolling thing I was telling you about just now? That, what I have to do is I have to do it like this, but then my finger totally bumps into Gosei snake, the snake header. So I have to do it from here. Oh, and by the way, the mechanism locks up. I don't know if this is happening just to mine specifically or not, where the gears are kind of grinding out. I can't say for any certainty if I'm doing it wrong. I'm not certain. So that may just be mine, just something that slid through quality control or whatever it is. So I'm not going to quality control. So I'm not going to make a big deal out of that. Kind of the only one that really works is this. So that's nice. I will point out one thing though, and this is just the design of Gosei Great's legs, by the way. So I'm not specifically talking about the Landick headers, but more about Gosei Great. You'll notice the legs are angled out to either side. The legs are splayed a little bit, right? Well, the thing is, the feet, accordingly, and this is whether you've got the Tyranno and Sai headers here or not, the feet are also tilted at that oh-so-slight angle. So, again, missed opportunity. But then, well, not missed opportunity, it looks a little strange, but then they've got these heel spurs on the back, which are angled which are angled properly. They're angled so that it's flat, as opposed to each foot being angled downwards, and it would actually be more, if it wasn't for these heel spurs right here, the whole thing would tip over very easily. So it's a small detail, but it's a noticeable detail. They should have tilted those also slightly during the transformation at the very least. And yet another disadvantage of not having this wheel on the underside here is, in the show, Landick Gosei Great rolls around like this. But the toy version doesn't, for two reasons. Let's see, two reasons. Yeah, two reasons. The first one is, well, you've got this front wheel, which moves, but the back wheels don't. You've got these wheels under the tractor treads here, but then this one does, or I should say this outside tractor tread wheel doesn't touch the ground at all. The inner one does. The center one does, but the right side one does not. So, from my perspective, they missed an opportunity to have this roll around. I mean, it's not like Super Sentai Robos haven't had rolling wheels in the past. That's happened more than a few times. So why it is that this is very much a missed opportunity. And yet another example of something that disappointed me with the Landick Brothers set. It's just this close to being my favorite, but there's always something that ruins it. Well, ow, you pinched me. Okay, now I don't like you anymore. So yeah, kind of a mixed batch. However, well, there's actually two howevers. One, it is appropriate, and I mentioned this in the Seiic Gosei Great video that I did a little bit ago, that the Phoenix and Shark headers go on the knees, which I didn't like. They should have gone to either side of the arms, like this, or they should have gone on top of the shoulders. That's what they should have done. Instead, they were both transferred to the knees. In this case, however, because the Sai and Tyranno headers are placed as the new feet, then it is appropriate to have the tiger, is this a tiger? Yeah, the tiger and snake headers as kind of giant knee guards. That does make sense. That is acceptable. I wanted that. That is appropriate. And another Landick Gosei Great is a thing. I don't know. I think part of the problem, and I'm not going to do the whole transformation here, but kind of the big issue I had with Gosei Phoenix is its kind of disproportionate, weird shape and very nondescript. Well, it doesn't really help when you look at it this way. It gets narrow. It's this wide body here, gets narrow here, it gets wide again for the joint, and then it gets narrow again for this area here on the Tyranno header's head, or whatever it is, and then it gets big again for the Tyranno head, the skull, or whatever it is. So, another reason I don't like Gosei Phoenix. Plex, you're really not doing anything to impress me here. Oh, that reminds me. Let me get this to be attached. The other missed opportunity. Here's the thing I don't get. I should also point out that the Sai Header is a different shade of yellow from the one that's on Gosei Tiger. I don't know why. This is a macaroni and cheese yellow. This is more of a lemony fresh yellow, although it's not neon. Regardless of what my camera is telling you, this is not neon. This is just plain old ordinary banana yellow. And then the black colored header should have been down here, regardless of which animal is represented. I'm talking colors here. And then the red header should have been up here. It's staring you in the face, and Bandai Plex Toei have been color coordinating Super Sentai Robos for the better part of, well, this is the 24th anniversary. So, by the way, Dragon header, Tyranno header, and that looks awesome. It's just pointing straight up. It's kind of, okay, yeah. Anyways, I'm talking about color coordination here, and this, believe it or not, this is not red. It's kind of a polished orange. I don't know how well it's coming across on the camera. It looks fine in the viewfinder, but yeah, it should have been red header for the top, yellow header for the left arm, and black header for the right foot. Did I say left arm? I meant to say left foot and right foot. So yeah, that's what they should have done. But I don't know why. They put the red one there. No excuse. I mean, even when they finally decided which colors were going to be which, what they should have done was this, because it's actually dark gray, and then attach this. Why didn't they do that? Maybe they thought there was too much black on one side. They need to add a little bit of color, so they decided to mix it up by swapping these around. It's kind of a weird way of going about things, but you just pinched me again, doggone it. Thank goodness you're not... This is not going to hurt you, by the way. Don't even worry about it. That's not a problem at all right there. So, I almost like the Landick Brothers set and associated Landick Gosei Great, but it's so close. I want to give it a B+. No, what am I talking about? I don't go by letter grades. I give it 4 stars instead of outright 5 stars. There's no such thing as a half star. So, if you can tolerate this thing and its simple transformations, and then if you can tolerate the header swapping thing, I would say the Landick header set, or I'm sorry, the Landick Brothers set is not a bad option. Certainly not for the first of the combiner sets, accessory sets. So I'll put an it's okay recommendation behind the Landick Brothers set. And so with that relatively mild recommendation, this is AV Unit 4A for CollectionDX.com, signing off.